wages started coming late, travel costs weren't being refunded, and Rat Boss started doing some creative accounting when it came to the differences between everyone's net and gross wages. It all came to a boiling point when I received a phone call in 3 a.m. on the night I was supposed to drive the boys back home in the morning. The customer called. One of the boys has been arrested for drunken disorderly. He didn't have ID on him, only the workplace identity card, so they phoned our customer in the middle of the night to help identify the foreman of that animal. So yeah, I got called to pick him up. I ate a lot of shit that day. When I came back home, I had a good, long sit-down with Rat Boss, told him I was done with that bullshit and that it was time to settle accounts. He sort of half-heartedly apologized. He also admitted he was problems with his wife, which co-ran the business, and was fighting with him over how the money was being spent. At that point, he owed me around a year's worth of travel expenses. And if you take into account that I traveled at least 2,000 miles monthly, that is a substantial sum of money. He apologetically asked me to wait a bit on that money, because his wife is cock-blocking him on any major expenditures. He also asked me to stay on with his for just a few months on minimum wage, just until he can put a decent crew together. The idiot that I was accepted his proposal. There was no reason not to trust him after all. We've known each other for almost 7 years at the time. I didn't think it unreasonable to give him time to fix this. But I did have one condition, though. I needed half the money he owed me by the end of September because I'm having some work done on my house. He said that shouldn't be a problem this far in advance. I said, okay, we have a deal. But I remained suspicious. A couple months went by, I worked for RB locally, on minimum wage, except the problem is that even that wage came in late. My hackles were raised. I was concerned that I would have to postpone work on my house, work for which craftsmen are so hard to come by. You have to pay a deposit to prove you were serious about needing that work done. In the beginning of September, on the month his partial debt repayment was due, I confronted him again. He assured me that paying half what he owed me for travel costs wouldn't be a problem, and that he's got the cash ready. As we parted way and I went for home, he gave me the fakest smiles I have ever seen in my life. I stared him down. I gave him this kind of look that even a dumbass would recognize as having "I'm not fooling around anymore" written all over it. RB lost that fake smile of his almost immediately. I said goodbye, got into my car, and drove home. That weekend, RB sent me a way message about how he's got a crew lined up and that he's going abroad to talk with a potential customer to get his foot back into the fieldwork door. Alarm bells started instantly ringing. He's going to avoid me for the date he was due to pay half his debt. He's going to screw me over. He was going to screw me over. Bastard, after everything we've been through together. At that point, I decided if the money doesn't come in due date, a 30-day resignation notice is going wait for him when he gets back, filed on the exact day he was supposed to pay. But the thing is, when something has you this riled up, such as RB's probable betrayal, you kind of have a hard time focusing at work. So I slipped on a ramp. I didn't just sprain my ankle or tore a ligament. I downright destroyed it, about a week before his debt payment was due. We're talking about emergency surgery here, 2 weeks minimum at the hospital, and being unable to put proper weight on that foot for 6 months. What do you guys think happened to the money he promised to pay me? It didn't come. Big surprise. Not only that, even the wage didn't get wired that month. It gets even worse. While I was in the hospital, heavily medicated, the work got done on my house. My mother, who had authorization to my accounts in cases of emergency, used my savings to pay for the work on my house instead of canceling, which means I had very little money left. She told me not to worry, I will still get paid sick leave. I wasn't so sure. The thing about sick leave in my country is, in case of a work-related injury and a recovery